If you are looking for a unique way to honor your mom or grandma and wear their vintage wedding dress or wedding veil, but you want to modernize it a bit, then I'm here to guide you through the process. It's such a fun way to honor the legacy of your family who've gone before you. So let's get started. The veil that I make is the beginning of this family's legacy. We'll start with some of the commonly asked questions. Number one is, what happens if the dress or the vintage accessory has some yellowing and holes? Your mom or grandma's piece may not be in perfect condition. The answer is that it really depends on the amount of yellowing and discoloration. We may need to cut around certain parts that are torn or dirty. We can generally preserve elements of the bridal dress, whether it's in the beading, the lace, or the satin itself. Really, the ultimate goal is to preserve as much of the dress as possible, but if certain parts are too damaged, then we can discuss other possibilities. It's always safest to start off with photos, good photos of your mom's dress or your grandma's dress or their veil, so that the designer has a good idea of if it's something that would be able to be fixed. Number two is, what are the first steps in the heirloom accessory redesign process? The first step would definitely be to get some good photos of the piece. Take out the dress, take out the veil, see what type of condition it is, send it to the designer who's going to be working on it with you so that you can have the same vision and make sure you're on the same page. Also, it's good to have a conversation with your mom or with your grandma to see how comfortable they are with cutting up their dress or cutting up their piece. See how much they're wanting to preserve it, just in case, because I've run into some sticky situations there. Just make sure you have open communication there. How do I get my vintage accessory to you? Well, if you're not actually located near me in Orange County in Southern California, then you can ship your dress or veil to me directly. I will either have you ship the whole thing to me or just the parts that we will be repurposing based on your preference. I always recommend shipping in a strong and sturdy box with tons of bubble wrap. You can never have too much of that for safekeeping. You can also take a look at your local alterations places, see if any of them are comfortable with the heirloom redesign process if you prefer to go local. How much is this whole thing going to cost? This is a very important question. Budget is incredibly important. I start my redesign process at $500, but it varies quite a bit based on what it is you're wanting. This particular design that you've been seeing videos of in the background was a long cathedral veil that had some vintage lace attached to it, and this was, I believe, somewhere around the $700 mark. So there you have it. This is a fun and special way to honor your loved ones and to create something pretty in the process that also represents you and your style. Make sure to let me know in the comments below what it is you're planning on doing with your vintage dress or your vintage accessory. I would love to know. And grab your free sample swatches at my website.